Hi, hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and wherever you're watching from. We're delighted to welcome you. Welcome to Market Faith. Welcome to Market Faith. This video is going, live to people. So what we typically like to do is just to wait for a minute or two for people to join in on the video. All right. So please just bear with us for a minute and let's worship. Great is the faithfulness of God. Great is the faithfulness of God. I love worship songs. I love listening to worship songs, and it's always refreshing for me. So I hope you are joining us. So let's take out this time, invite your friends, invite your colleagues, and let them join us. And we'll start right away. It's going to be exciting today. I hope you had a great day. I hope your Sunday was great. So thank you. Thank you for joining. Welcome to Market Faith. Welcome. Why don't you go ahead and put it in the comments? Let us know where you are joining us from. Let us know where you're joining us from. If you're joining us from here in Lagos, Nigeria, where I am, if you're joining us from the US, if you're joining us from the UK, wherever you're joining us from, please type it in the chat box and let us know where you are joining us from. Great is the faithfulness of God in our lives. All right, if you're watching this video afterwards, just bear with us. We're just waiting for a few more people to join in. You can actually just fast forward the video a little bit if you're watching it afterwards. Thank you so much for joining us today on Market Faith. We're going to talk about something really exciting and really important. All right, to me. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today's episode of Market Faith. We're delighted that you're here with us. I want to encourage you, go ahead and invite your friends, invite your colleagues. We're starting a new series today, and we're going to be looking at the finances of businesses, right? And it's really going to be powerful and very helpful for people. I find that for many entrepreneurs, one of the areas where they struggle a lot is in the finances for their business. And so in the next, couple of videos, we're just going to spend time talking about that, talking about funding, talking about financing, how to manage your finances in your business, and all those types of things. One of the things I'm particularly excited about is the video about the simplest way to manage your finances in your business. So today we want to start off by talking about how you can identify new business opportunities, right, in your existing business. Okay, so if you already run a business, right, what are some of the ways that you can leverage to optimize your revenue, to optimize your income in your existing business? So I just want to share a few thoughts with you around that, and then you can go ahead and implement them in your business. So I'm really excited that you join me. I'm excited that you're watching this video, and I think it's going to be super duper helpful for you. So let's get right into it. So how do you find opportunities within an existing business? I personally believe that within an existing business there are several ways to make money. So if you are into oil and gas, within that same oil and gas business, there are several synergies that you can take advantage of to make more money. If you are into financial services, there are other things within the financial services space that you can take advantage of to make more money. If you're into logistics, there are other things in that logistics business that you can take advantage of. And I believe so because when you look at the Bible, starting from the Garden of Eden, the Bible talks about the fact that 4 different streams just came out of the same place, of the same source. So I really believe that out of the same source, out of the same place, out of the same business, there are several things that can come out of that as well. So I'm particularly excited about the teaching series that we're starting and talking about finding new opportunities for your business within within, a business that you have started. But before I dive into that, let me just say a few things that serve as some sort of a background to some of the things I'm going to be talking about. The first thing is this: what is the mindset of a business person? What is the mindset of an entrepreneur who finds opportunities in their business? This is very important, because if you don't have the right mindset and you don't have the right understanding, then chances are that you will not do this right. There are certain things that you need to do, but if you don't have the right perspective and you don't think about this correctly, you may not be able to do those things the way you ought to do them. So what are some of the things that you need to do, the mindset that you need to have if you want to find opportunities within an existing business? The very first thing that I want to say to you, which is absolutely critical, is that you must collect and look at your data. Now, let me say something to us, especially for those of us who are running smaller size businesses, right? Your advantage over the future is really going to be your ability to be hyper local. So business will be very hyper local for you. In other words, when you look at your local community and your local area of influence, the question is, how can you deliver superior service to your customers in a way that the bigger businesses are not able to within your locality? That's the biggest advantage that you have. You cannot compete with the bigger guys on their resources. You cannot compete with the bigger guys on their manpower and all those things. What you can compete on is your ability to understand the customer in an intricate way, in a way that is better than anybody else can understand the customer. So when you run a grocery store, when you run a logistics business, when you run a fashion business, whatever the business that you run is, you must understand your local community. You must understand the area where you are operating, where most of your customers are coming from, right? For a larger business, they will have customers coming from other states and outside of town. But for you, 99% of your customers are going to be from within your area and from within your locality. So you must collect data. So if you are a supermarket, for example, how many customers are visiting you on a daily basis? How much are they spending per customer? All right. What is the maximum? What is the minimum? What is the fastest moving product in your area, in your locality? What are people doing differently in that area? Those are the data. That's the data you must have in your business. So you need to be hyper local. That's the very first thing I want to say to you, and the very important thing. The second thing is this: if you want to make more money within an existing business, you must learn to set aside resources. You must learn to set aside resources, right, for experiments. Okay, why? Because business, to a large extent, is also about experiments. Nobody has a crystal ball to predict the future, so everybody needs to experiment to see if something that they are planning to do will work. So you set aside resources because you expect opportunities to show up. Why? When you need to take advantage of opportunities, many times you need money, many times you need resources, dedicated resources, to take advantage of those opportunities. So it is very, very important that as a business you have foresight. Personally, one of the mistakes I've made in business is not setting aside money for opportunities that come my way, right? So in your business, there will be opportunities, there will be a deal, there will be a transaction, there will be something that will come up as you go along. If you don't have resources to take advantage of those opportunities, you are going to pass on those opportunities as you go along. All right. So they don't just, people like this are deliberate. They're not just doing something because there is a good opportunity. They're doing something because there is an opportunity to make money. All right. I always say this: never start a business because there is a need. Start because there is a market. They are two different things. A need is a desire that people have. A market is something people are willing to pay for. Everybody has need for food, but not everybody has need for a 5-star Chinese restaurant. Right? And a market is different from a need. So you must start opportunities and look at opportunities that have to do with a particular need. That's the second thing I want to say to you. The third thing is that the mindset, all right, of people who take advantage of opportunities within their specific business is that they understand that growth takes time. opportunities that you need to take advantage of, a lot of them will take time before they manifest. So they are not in too much of a hurry to get things done, all right? So those three things are very important. Number one, collecting data. This is probably one of the most important things I can tell you, right? It's a mistake I made as well. I wasn't collecting enough data, right, in some of the businesses that I've started, all right? Setting aside resources for experiments. Gmail came out of an experiment, all right? When you look at an organization like Google, right, the search engine and the money they make from marketing in the search engine is very, very important. It's very important for them. But Gmail is, I believe, the second biggest revenue driver for them, and it came out of an experiment. All they did was they asked people in the organization to work on certain things that they were excited about, and people started working on things, and in that experiment something phenomenal happened. Gmail came out of it, and it has become one of the biggest sources of revenue, all right, for that business. Look at Apple. Apple has the iPhone. The iPhone is probably the biggest revenue source, but you know the second biggest revenue source that accounts for about 8% of Apple's revenue? The AirPods. You wouldn't believe it. The pods. The money that the pods make, right, is bigger than the money of the iPad, is bigger than the money of the watch, and I think one other one put together, combined. The AirPods alone is 8% of Apple's revenue. So what am I trying to tell you? Within your phone business, can you find the AirPods of that business? Can you find the iPad, the iMac, and all those things within that business? Very, very important. So I'm saying so because within our business, there are opportunities to make more money within the same business. And you need to learn to identify those opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities. Now, having said these things and set the tone, what are the 3, 4, maybe, well, you know, there are about 5 or 6 things, right, that I will consider sources of new opportunity. In other words, where must you look if you are looking to create new revenue opportunities within your existing business? All right. Again, the first place I would say, it goes back to the first thing I said earlier around data, collecting data. Opportunities exist in your highest selling products or services. Take a look at the things that is selling the most within your business. All right. Is there a way that you can make it a flagship product in other regions, in other areas? So for example, if you're in the pharmaceutical industry and you have a paracetamol that is your best-selling product, can that paracetamol help you enter another state within your country? Can that paracetamol help you enter another region within your country as a flagship product, and then all your other drugs come into that particular region? Okay, what is the product that people buy the most in your business? What is the service that people take advantage of the most in your service? How can you take that particular service and make it explode and do much more and do it in other regions and in other locations as well? Can you take it online, for example, and do much more with it? So that's the first thing I want to say in terms of where to look for opportunities. The second place I want to ask you to look at are customer reviews. Customer reviews, not just your own customer reviews, actually, your competitors' customer reviews. So I'll give you an example. Let's assume that you're a retail store and you're a mom and pop shop. You are somewhere in the corner on a street somewhere doing something fantastic for yourself, right? Can you find what customers are saying about the large scale shopping malls, right, that are around your area, right? The Spars of this world, the Walmarts of this world. What are customers complaining about those people? And if you go online, you will find some of these complaints, right? If you're in Nigeria, there's a platform called Nairaland. If you are anywhere, I mean, across the globe, there's Quora.com. And these are platforms where people talk about things and talk about complaints. If some of these people have an app, go to their apps on Apple Store or Play Store and check what customers are saying. The complaints that customers are making about those companies, it represents a great opportunity for you to take advantage of in your own business. So you can draw those people to you by reading those customer reviews about your competitors that they don't like, so that you can address those things in your own business so that you can do much more. That's another area where you can look for sources of new opportunity. The third area I want to ask you to consider is fragmentation. What is fragmentation? Fragmentation is taking something that already works, all right, and breaking it down into smaller bits so that you can do well. In my country, Nigeria, there's a company that produces a milk product called Cowbell Milk. Now, at the time, another milk product was dominant in the market, Peak Milk, right? And everybody was on Peak Milk, etc. But what Cowbell did that was ingenious was that Peak Milk came in large tins, but Cowbell took the product, broke it down into smaller sachets that you can afford and you can use one time, all right? And they literally took over the market, at least especially at the grassroots level, because that addressed and targeted a group of people. If you run a particular training, a best-selling training program, how can you fragment that training program into smaller coaching classes that people can take in bits and bytes? What can you do that can fragment that thing into bite size that people can take and consume, right, in terms of the service, and also come back for more? Fragmentation, breaking it down into smaller bits of what you can do, all right? Another area to look in your business to see whether there can be opportunities is any area in your business where data is lacking. There is a high propensity for suboptimal performance in that area. If people don't have data about a particular thing in your business or in your industry, then chances are that there are opportunities there that are hiding, right? It's very, very important. As a matter of fact, right, where people don't have data, they don't know what is going on or not going on. And so because of that, what happens is that people are doing things and many of them are just guessing and they're not clear as to what exactly is going on. So any area where there is no data, for example, if you knew that 80% of all logistics orders fail at the first attempt, meaning that if 100 people go to meet a particular logistics service provider and say, I want to deliver this from point A to point B, 8 out of 10 of them, right? 80 out of all the 100 people will experience failed service delivery. But when you look at your own data, you realize that you are achieving 90%. In other words, you are delivering 90% of every customer's orders on time. What do you think that gives you as a business? What kind of advantage do you think that can give you? You can make more money from there. You can start communicating to customers that, look, we have the credibility, we have the track record, and we deliver 9 out of 10 times. So anywhere where data is missing in your industry, right, there is a very significant possibility that there are huge opportunities that are hiding there. Okay. The fifth thing is where there are no synergies or collaboration, right? Anywhere there is no synergy, anywhere there is no collaboration, there is waste. Whenever there is waste, there is an opportunity. In many countries, the government is a very good example of some of the things like that, where you find two different ministries who need the same data, but are all doing the same thing, working on capturing that data. When one person can capture that data and the rest can share, they refuse to share, they refuse to collaborate, and so what happens is everybody has to spend money doing their own thing. There is always an opportunity for savings. There is always an opportunity for more whenever there is no collaboration. So even within your business, if the salespeople are not talking with the marketing guys, right, and there is no collaboration, there's an opportunity there. Something is wasting there. Anywhere there is no collaboration, there is most likely a waste. And the last thing I want to talk about, my time is fast spent today. The last thing I want to talk about is supplier problems. When you are complaining about your suppliers and they're not doing certain things right, or the people that you are collaborating with in your industry and they're not doing certain things right, it's an opportunity for you. If your supplier is always delaying your shipment, if your supplier is always delaying delivery of a particular product, if your supplier doesn't give you great credit, if your supplier doesn't do one thing or the other that you need, in other words, look at things that you are complaining about as well. Stop complaining and think about it differently as to how you can take advantage, how you can solve this problem. right? If you find that, maybe customers are not showing up. I mean, I'll tell you a very quick story before we close. Someone that I know that runs a supermarket, all of a sudden, from identifying and looking at his environment, he just noticed that there are this group of guys who are always selling things, right, along the major highway close to where he was. And he asked himself a question: these things they're selling, I sell it in my supermarket, why aren't they buying from me? You know what he did? He started buying those particular items in larger quantities and inviting those guys to come, right? Because all those guys needed was to get those products very cold, very chilled, and all of that. That was what they wanted. So he would do all of that, and what he did was create a much wider revenue stream for that particular product within his store. Okay? People, if you look around you, there are opportunities to grow your business and expand your revenue lines. Yes, you will have a major anchor and a major thing that brings in money into your business, but there are other things that you can look at within your business that create additional income for your business. So today, here's my challenge to you. Take out some time and settle down with your business. Look through these 5-6 areas that I've talked about and see if you can identify opportunities that are there that you can take advantage of. Even if you can't take advantage of it today, if you start saving money towards it today, in 6 months' time, can you take advantage of that opportunity? If the answer is yes, consider doing that, and I'm sure that your experience in business is going to be a lot more rewarding for you. Thank you so much for being a part of today's broadcast. I really appreciate it. All right, tell your friends about this. Next week is going to be so much more powerful as we dive in and talk more about powerful things around your business and your finances. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.